All right, it's it's 5:13 in the morning. I'm a dad, and none of my children are awake. I don't know about you guys, but I think right now is a very good moment. All right, so I'm actually getting started at open source. I don't care. I don't care no more. I genuinely do not care no more. Right? Why? Why should I care about not doing open source? For a long time I've been thinking to myself, like, how long is it gonna take for me to be the man? I want to be the man, guys. How am I ever be the man if I'm not actually out here? I gotta do open source now, and so I'm gonna do open source in the open. That's where I'm taking this. I'm going to be the first YouTuber to do open source in the open, religiously. I don't care if I show people that I'm not this like genius programmer or anything like that. I genuinely don't care. I just want folks to understand that like hard challenges are fun. They're just fun. That's my general experience in life has been that hard challenges are fun. So let me go surfing. Let's see if we can find something. Code triage. This is a site that I normally go to. I just like go there. Let's see if I could bring this up a little bit. Scale this down a little bit. Make this a little bit more prominent because this is the thing. Alright. Filter by language. I use Python as my primary language. Python learn me and all that good stuff. Alright. Mathematica. Alright. So let's see if we can find a project in Python. All right, these are some projects. Command line project to download videos from youtube.com. Computer algebra system written in pure Python. Open source apps to grow your business. Odoo. What is Odoo? Open source apps to grow your business. I like business apps. I like apps for business applications. Also, I like apps for scientific applications. I could probably get into like what is this? Bioinformatics. I went to school for biology. I didn't do a software engineer, but the intersection of science and information technology interests me a lot. A whole lot. Alright, Mission building system, Python, C Python, pip, fast API, easy to learn, faster code, production, Synapse, Koala, Electrum, Scrapey, Wagtail. I use Wagtail a lot at work. It would probably be very smart for me to go into understanding Wagtail at its core. Use a lot of Wagtail, a lot of Django, face recognition, distributed computation, and Python. So my general, I guess, a pick that I would like would be anything that I am not familiar with. I'm just a curious person. I love to be curious. And I feel like anything that is outside of the realm of anything that I'd be dealing with, do a full stop on machine learning. Because I really don't have the patience for that at this very moment in time. It's just too much mathematics, calculus to be specific. And while I do enjoy a challenge, that level of challenge right now is not for me. It's not. It truly is not at the moment. No, pal, Mac up. Keep your application settings in sync. What is this? Mac up. What? This is like an OS level kind of thing. And look at the guys that's doing this. One guy has the V for Vendetta mask, so that I don't know. I love those guys, but I don't know. And this guy has like unlimited algebra or unlimited calculus, mathematics, or discrete mathematics stuff chart behind him. Darn it. But I like this guy with the baby. That's a cool guy. Alright, let's see. Let's see. Mac up. What is Mac up all about? Ira Mac up. So it's a guy or a company, and they created a thing called Mac up. And it is written in my favorite language. Let's see, is it? I don't see any dot. Oh, I see pip. I see pip here. Pip files. So they're using the OS library in Python to sync things. I don't know. Hold on, let me read the README. Keep your application setting in sync. Bullshit. What does it really do to my files? Let's take Git as an example. Your settings for Git are saved in your home folder in the Git config file. Yeah. If you have Dropbox, these things happen when you launch. Mac up, backup, CP, Git config, Mac up, Git config, remove Git config, ln s, Git config, Git config. What is ln? I don't know what ln is. ln terminal. Create a hard link or symbolic link to existing file or directory. Symbolic links. Creates a link. ln link. I'm already learning, and this is why I think that we should just get into open source, because you can learn a lot, and at the same time you can challenge yourself and grow at the same, like that is the value that I believe can come from doing open source. To do open source, it's hard, but you just go to issues, you go to a project, you go to issues, you start surfing or whatever, you read the issue, look at a person's issue, different things that I say to PDF to Devon Think 3 alias, and the Mac-up is backing up the destination instead of the alias, resulting in a useless 350 megabyte folder that is basically the whole app. Yikes. The Mac-up you configure not to follow some link and back to the files. Alright, so this would be a full-on thing that I would just need to learn. I don't actually know what he's referring to in this thing, but this is, again, the value of all this. If you're working at a startup, which I have worked at a startup, I currently work at a dev shop. It's a totally different environment, not a startup. Your whole job is about bug tracking, occasionally building new features. Most of everything you're going to be doing is finding problems and solving them. And in order to solve a problem, in order to solve a problem, you have to know a code base. You gotta know the code base. You need to know the what and the why. You get some sort of a memory of what is available to you, and then from there you say, all right, cool, I'm listening to this problem, and that sounds like that's a problem going on in this file or with this feature, and then you track down that issue. It's going to take a little moment to track down the issue, and I guess this is probably why people do not do open source in the open. But if you're able to track down the issue, then you're able to propose like a solution to the issue. And then there's various levels of, solutions, various degrees of quality of solutions. And I think that this is the big value add for anybody getting into open source, would be that your first thought of a solution may not be the best solution. So therefore you must propose it. And you have to propose it to the rigor of the team, the open source team, the maintainers. They want you to write tests. They want you to propose solutions that work like O of whatever, 1 or whatever. And then, and only then, do they evaluate you and send you packing or merging your branch into the open source project for your work to be used worldwide. That iterative code review cycle from people who are literally better than you at doing this will infinitely make you just better. And that is the value add for open source. If you're a person who's trying to get into tech and you're like studying for yourself, you're trying to learn how to do these things or whatever the case may be, I highly suggest you get into checking out open source, getting familiar with this process, because you do this, you'll be doing exactly what you'll be doing for work. Like if you're doing startups, this is what you're doing, albeit on a closed source project that has absolutely no open source roots, but it's probably using open source tools, but it's the same exact thing. You're just doing it for one company that has you on payroll. That's it. I'm not sure if I'm gonna go with Mac Up for my thing, because I don't know. That look fun. That's almost very similar to like a homebrew kind of thing, a package manager. Is it a terminal thing? It's funny. I say a package manager. Lo and behold, the very first line, quick start. Brew install Backup. Funny. Launch it and back up your files. Backup. If not running Mac OS or you don't like homebrew, you can use pip. Sorry. Brew install Backup. You can find more detail and stuff. Backups your application setting in a safety directory. Safe directory, sync your application setting on all your workstations. Restores your configuration on any fresh install in one command line. I feel very compelled to do this. I don't know. I've never, but this cannot be my first pick, and this is what you're storing, syncing to? Huh. Have an application that shouldn't be generally supported but that you use, or a cool file you want to sync. Why do you do this? Yesterday I had a talk with Zach Zaro complaining about the pain is to reconfigure your MacBook each time we get a new one or install from scratch. That's a talk we already had months ago. I changed my workstation every X months. Each time I either lose my app's configurations or I just waste a bunch of hours getting set up like I was on my old box. I also spent a lot of time reconfiguring the same stuff again on all my workstations, home, work, barn. Some people tried to solve the problem on the application layer, like GitHub's boxing, but it solves a different problem from my point of view. I don't spend a lot of time installing and downloading stuff. I spend time configuring it. For years, I've used a personal shell script that was copying down config files into Subversion, Git, or Dropbox and linked them into my home. But I felt a lot of us had the same problem, making a more generic tool that can help others, and I can get help from others to support more apps in the tool. So here comes Mackup, the little tool that will sync all your application configs to Dropbox or Google Drive or anything, and it's GPL, of course, where platforms are supported. GNU, Linux, and Mac OS. I have a Mac OS. I also have a little Raspberry Pi that could be my Linux situation. What's up with the world there? All right. I don't know, guys. I like this. This could be a big learning opportunity for me. And that's what we in it for. We in it to learn. We're trying to be great. And how can we be great if we're not challenging ourselves to these things? Look at this. This is crazy. It's fucking nuts. All of these different APIs that this person is trying to integrate with or have already integrated with. This thing must have been around for some time. Alright, IRA. Add support for IntelliJ, Swish. So much. Many. Oh, review required for this one. What is the number? Okay, so files changed. No, let me see the files change. Goku. Oh, they're all the same. Okay. Let me see a closed branch. And support fixed typo. Let's see with the typo. Box. No longer supported as it ignores dot files. Yikes. Support for recast. And recast. I guess I started, guys. Alright, well, it looks like I cannot find anything. It's like add yarn support. What is going on here? Why can't I see anything interesting? Cannot be just all this added color parts. On this page I can see other files. Is it doc outdated? Alpha has built-in support for. Okay, I'm going into the code. Like, I cannot. Okay, so this is the file that creates all the configuration files, library, application support. Okay. And I'm assuming that all of the files would look just the same. Yeah, so that's a standard. plist. Bruh, this is fucking nuts. Alright, cool. So all of those files, they will all look the same. That causes me to believe that those configurations are like shell files. They're overridden at runtime by something and passed in the location is instance. Now, if you was doing Python learn with me, then we in familiar territory here because we could recode like this with no problem. Because guess what? This is what we do. We took the time to sharpen our axe beforehand And so now we're here doing this. All right. This is just a doc string for talking about what's going down. And then this is the craziness that is going down. Copies the file, delete the file, and the file name. You know what, guys? I'm going to spend a couple of episodes doing that. All right. So that's it. I just wanted to just get into this. This is it. We're starting in open source now. We're doing open source in the open. Just deal with me. Just deal with me, because we're going to do this. We're going to get it done. It's going to be fun. We're going to learn some things. I'm a little... Got to get ready, because my daughter's going to wake up soon. But, yo, this is fun. Peace.